What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now, your home for all things daily Seattle Seahawks news, updates, and rumors. I'm your host, Levi. Today we're getting into a couple of interesting topics. First off, the Seahawks have the sixth youngest group of starters in the NFL. We talk about the youth movement that has overtaken the Seahawks. Plus, we discuss the possibility of the Seahawks signing guard Brandon Scherff. Do we think it should happen? Maybe. There's a good chance. And we also talk about why we think the Seahawks could have the best defense in the NFL in 2025. All that and more right here today on Seahawks Now. But first, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe down below if you like the channel for more future Seattle Seahawks content. All right, let's get into it. The Seahawks have the sixth youngest group of starters in the NFL, and why I think that's a good thing. We found this out from Seattle Seahawks on SI, writing Connor Benintendi. He says, with 3 consecutive strong draft classes, the Seahawks are among the most youthful teams in the league. The Seattle Seahawks have placed a heavy focus on building through the draft over the past few seasons, which has kept the team youthful, even as some of those players near the end of their rookie contracts. While difficult decisions on who to extend await Seattle this offseason and next, the Seahawks have one of the youngest starting core of players in the entire NFL. They also have the youngest group in the NFC West by a decent margin. According to Sportscasting Bets, which sourced its NFL depth charts from Our Lads, the Seahawks have the 6th youngest starters in the league at 25.23 years old. That's mostly a product of having many of its top-end draft picks already stepping in as starters or projected to next season. The average age of an NFL starter is 25.59 years old. So, actually, when you look at the average age, it's not that big of a difference, right? The average in the NFL is 25.59. Seattle Seahawks average starter is 25.23, so just about 0.36 years younger, which is about 4 months. So the average Seahawk is about 4 months younger than the average player for another team. That doesn't seem like much, but when you consider there's 24 starters on any team, counting special teams, that is, it is quite a bit. A 4-month difference means that the Seahawks might have significantly more younger players than older players, especially when everyone is really within that same kind of 10-year period. I'm also not sure, are they counting DeMarcus Lawrence as a starter? Because if they are, that really raises our average by quite a bit. He is in his 30s. If they're not counting DeMarcus Lawrence, that would make a little more sense. I'm not sure. I've seen different projections that say he's going to be a starter, and there's other projections that think he's going to be more of a reserve player, more of a backup. So I don't know where we stand with him. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting. We've seen young teams succeed in the past. We've seen Green Bay really succeed, considering what they were able to do in the playoffs, and they're still actually the youngest. Here's how they stack up against the rest of the league. So the Rams are the next youngest in the division at 25.55, which is 15th in the NFL. The Cardinals, 25.81, which is 24th in the NFL. And then the 49ers, they're actually the 30th oldest team in the NFL at 26.14 years. So you see, the Niners are not even a full year older on average, and they are one of the oldest teams in the league. We are one of the youngest. So it's all really, really close. I mean, the oldest group of starters is actually the Washington Commanders at 27.13 years old. The Steelers, 26.37. And then the Green Bay Packers are the youngest. They're at just 24.8 years old. So yeah, the Packers are still the youngest team in the NFL, and they have been the youngest for quite some time. Again, we've seen Green Bay have a lot of success, though, being the youngest team in the league. So I don't think having youth is necessarily a bad thing. The Seahawks, yeah, they have a lot of rising stars. Guys like JSN, Byron Murphy, Devin Witherspoon, Reek Woolen. This year we're going to have, our offensive line is going to have guys like Lucas and Cross and Gray Zabel stepping in there, and a lot of younger guys. I think it's good to see. I think it makes a lot of sense that the Seahawks would have this youth movement going on. I think it helps the team long term because it means you do have the backbone of what could be eventually a very sustainable contender. And you could say we're already sustainable. We've had a winning season 3 straight years. So yeah, I mean, this is where the Seahawks are right now. They are a young team, but they are a good team, and I think that youth movement is going to make a lot of trouble for the other teams in the division, especially the 49ers, who, at one of the older teams in the league, they're going to need to figure their shit out. They're going to have to figure